Hallo zusammen, hier ist Iggy. Willkommen zurück auf meinem Kanal. Hi everyone, this is Iggy. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Type 82 Kubelwagen. Now, the word Kubelwagen is a contraction of the German word Kubelsitzwagen, which basically translated into English means bucket seat car. And the soldiers called this a Kubelwagen. It was made by Volkswagen and it's called the Type 82. Now, it was manufactured in Berlin and assembled by uh, Volkswagen at their plant. And it was transported by train. So you can imagine that production of this vehicle would have been difficult after the Allied bombing offensive began in earnest in 1943 and 44. To give an example of how production of this was interrupted, the Americans produced 640,000 Jeeps, and the Kubelwagen was only about 50 to 55,000 units. So a considerable reduction compared to the vehicles being manufactured by Ford and other companies in the United States. Now, the Kubelwagen was a useful all-terrain vehicle for the Germans and was quite popular with the troops. I'm going to show you, let's see if I can. Well, no, I can't. I don't have a picture of it. I was hoping to show you a picture. I have a photograph of 4 Germans sitting in one of these, and it looks kind of diminutive when you see people sitting in it. It's not that big of a vehicle. Now you can see here, it has a tire on the front here. I guess if you're British, you would call this hood would be called a boot, and the trunk over here would be called a bonnet. Now, this vehicle was used as a command car. I thought I had a picture of the Africa Corps one, but I guess not. I don't know what I did with it. This is an MG-34 mounted on a pedestal in the back there. You can see an ammunition carrier for the I guess that it was a how many rounds was it? 50 round. I forgot what it's called again. Oh my God, Iggy is famous for that. I start filming and suddenly I get performance nerves, I guess you would call it. I remember when I was in high school, I gave a speech about Sumerian cuneiform writing, and I brought in a really cool prop for my speech, and it was a piece of clay that I had flattened out with a rolling pin, and then I put symbols in it and dried it out. I think I dried it out first and then put it in the oven. Anyway, that's a long story to tell you that when I came to giving the speech, I didn't bring any notes with me, just like now, don't have any notes. And the speech was all, and so I would say one sentence and it would be, I just said it now, it would be interrupted with an and oh, there I go again. See what I mean? At the end of the speech, the kids were supposed to do a critique of your speech, and all these kids kept raising their hand. He said and too many times. Well, I still do that. And anyway, I did it again. It's like I don't even realize I'm doing it. Maybe it's a weird speech impediment of mine. I'm not sure. So, who made this vehicle? Well, I purchased this vehicle in 2001. It was made by Ultimate Soldier, or 21st Century Toys. It's a really cool vehicle, and they produced one of these in a tan color. I think they even produced one that had an Africa Corps figure. Now, this one, of course, has no tactical symbols on it. Doesn't have the Baltic Cross. It doesn't have the Africa Corps version of this would have the tactical symbol, which was the palm tree with the swastika at the bottom of it. I don't know if it was a real one or a reproduction of one of these in person. And he had painted tan, and he had the Africa Corps tactical symbol. And I asked him, does anyone get after you for having that on your car as you're driving it to different events? And he said, no, not really, and I don't care if they do. And I'm like, oh, wow. There's a guy who's confident that he's correct because he's depicting history. However, most people would interpret it differently. That's the culture we live in now, unfortunately. Everyone's offended by history. So they're going to repeat it. That's all I can say. And they're not going to like it when it repeats because it wasn't very nice the first time around. So let's take a look at this 21st century vehicle. Now, starting in 1943, in a limited basis, they began experimenting with wood-fired or coal-fired engines. They would have like a boiler, and some of them had like a little bump on the hood of the vehicle to make room for the alterations they had made to convert it into a coal-fired, steam-powered engine, I guess. And it's really bizarre, but they were starting to get desperate. And so I think the Japanese also came out with a steam-powered vehicle. I think I've also seen pictures of vehicles being towed by horses. So you could say, well, he's got a nice car. It's 1 horsepower. Now let's open up one of these doors because they do open. Let's see if I can do this one. Well, maybe not. That one's not moving. Let's try this one. There we go. Maybe this... I don't want to break it. No, I'm afraid I'll break it. This gives you some idea here. Now, this door would open this way as opposed to this way. And this is what the Germans referred to as a Kubelsitz, a bucket seat. Kubel meaning a pail or a bucket, and sitz meaning literally sit or seat. Let's show you the dashboard of the vehicle. It's got some limited amount of detail there, but it does have some. I've had figures in this, and they look really cool. There's the back. The seats are similar to that of an American Jeep. I mean, it's a different fabric, but the seats on a Jeep practically sit on the ground of the vehicle too, just like these. And they could attach tools to the vehicle. There's probably an axe on here someplace, but I don't want to axe too many questions. Let's give you a close-up of the MG34. they could remove this from the pedestal and use it in the field because they have the, I don't know what you'd call that, the bipod. It's not a tripod, so it must be a bipod. Does this door open? No. Does this door open? There you go. So let's bring it up, give you a frontal view. And that's what my British friends refer to as the bonnet. It's got blackout lights, as you can see here, because they have this little slit to reduce this. Where's my hand? There it is. A little slit there so that it does not emit too much light and focuses the light to the direct front of the vehicle. And it comes with some tactical markings here. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. I don't know what that is. It's someone wielding a sword. But are they a skull? A skeleton? No, not a skeleton. I don't know. Looks like he's being chased by a turtle, doesn't it? It's got other symbols. And let's close the door. Is there any room for an axe on here? I don't see it. So let's bring this around here. I guess you could, in real life, you could depress the window like that so that you could fire the machine gun more readily. This, of course, comes right out. It's got an interesting way of connecting it to the vehicle. Right there. And you just push it in. This is the tray that they put the rounds, the magazine. I'm having trouble remembering the name of this, but I think it's got like 50 rounds in here. Something to that. I used to know what it was, but my memory's not the best. Okay, here's the rear of the vehicle. And there's that symbol again, tactical symbol. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this Type 82 Kubelwagen, quote unquote, or Kubelsitzwagen. Let me close the door because safety is important. We don't want anyone falling out. And raise the windshield. I hope I don't break this. Yeah, it looks like I've did something to it. It should go all the way up, but it's not. And I'm afraid if I force it, I will break it. So there you go. Let me do a sweeping panorama of the vehicle for you. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend that you get one. By the way, some of the information I was giving you is from this book here. That's a nice illustration there. And this is the book. You've seen me show you this book before. I use it quite extensively. I like the illustrations in it. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you. So let's all climb in and take a ride. We'll go down to Roy Rogers Ranch, and you know what we're going to do there. I ate dinner already, so I think I'll just have a piece of apple pie with a scoop of ice cream. Some vanilla ice cream would be perfect. But the apple pie has to be served hot. It's delicious, and it smells good. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks for joining the Iggy Army. For those of you who have subscribed, make sure you hit the notification bell so you can keep current with my videos. I was talking to one of my subscribers at work, and he said he hasn't seen a video in 3 months. So it's been a while. Oh, he didn't mention how long it had been, but I'm assuming it was about 3 months. All right, you have gotten iggy with it, and I appreciate you getting iggy with it, as always. So let's take off into the sunset in our Kubelwagen, our Kubelsitzwagen, and I will see you next time. I think next time I'm going to be featuring some G.I. Joe footlockers, which were an exclusive of Target, not to be confused with the 40th anniversary footlocker. This one was released, I think, 5 years prior to that. And I did a video once comparing some out of the package so you could get a good idea of the difference between the two. However, the ones that I've got to show you this time are still in the package. But we'll take a good look at those and whatever else I can find in that tub that's sitting in my bedroom at the foot of the bed that I trip on every time I get up to go to the bathroom during the night. And that's, you know what? I should just say goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen.